everyone, welcome back to another lesson of Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 326 and we are moving on to the winter category. Our topic is Winter 1 and we'll specifically talk about health tips for cold weather. So what kind of tips do you have related to cold weather? Of course, the obvious ones would be to dress warmly, to dress in layers, many layers, okay? Instead of just throwing on one thick sweater and one thick coat or jacket, it's smarter to wear many layers of thin clothing. For example, you can put on like maybe a tank top underneath, on top of that a t-shirt or long sleeve shirt, and on top of that you could maybe throw on a button-down shirt. On top of that, throw on a sweatshirt or a cardigan or a sweater. And then maybe on top of that, you could throw on a jacket and a coat, okay? So we're talking about wearing many layers, dressing warmly. That is one tip that I could give you when it comes to cold weather. There are many more tips we can exchange with one another. So let's first of all check out what Gareth and Kelly have mentioned in today's actual talk conversation. Let's take a listen.
Well, it's finally here or coming.
Winter.
Winter.
Yes.
Something I dread every year and try to be prepared for, but never really feel like I'm prepared for it. But try to embrace it.
Yes, you have to really, don't you?
Yeah, no choice there. Is there anything special that you do to try and make it brighter? Or maybe you like winter. I personally hate it.
I like winter, but I do prepare. I mean, the winters in Seoul are bone-chillingly cold. I mean, really are killer cold. But I think the name of the game is to really just get a lot of layers on you. Wear a lot of clothes, different layers. You know,
Shopping.
Eat good food, you know, chiges, stews, warm drinks. I try to pump myself full of, you know, good fruit and vegetables, and then vitamins. Vitamin C, multivitamins, you know, even vitamin D to replace the sunlight.
I love the way you say that, vitamins. We say vitamins.
Oh, do you? Yes.
In Canada,
well, there's the difference, right?
Sounds
cute. Yeah, so that's what I do, yeah. What about yourself?
You raised a good point about shopping. I actually have started my winter shopping. So thermalwear is... I'm big on thermalwear. Yes. I hate being cold.
Do you? Yeah.
I like going to Uniqlo. They always have high quality and affordable thermalwear. But I do a lot of the same things. Are you a believer in the flu vaccine?
I'm a believer in it. I haven't done it though. What about you?
I'm kind of torn on it. Some people say it's effective, other people say it's not. But I try to wrap myself in comfort, like stews, comfort foods.
Yeah.
Warmth, candles,
sure.
Go to bed early,
more
wake
drinking
up early.
alcohol?
No.
That's an Irish cure.
I do think that more sleep is naturally a good idea when the season's changing.
Definitely.
Well, as long as you're prepared, then all good.
Exactly. Yeah, bring it on.
Well, like most women, I would say that Kelly, well, she's like me and like most women, as I said, she does not really like winter. So she's not a huge fan of the cold weather or cold season, such as winter. Many guys don't seem to really care. Actually, I think I've met more men that hate the summer season. They much more prefer winter to summer, whereas I think a lot more women prefer summer to winter. Okay, anyhow, let's take a look at the conversation. Here we go. So first of all, Kelly says, well, it's finally here or coming. Well, you might have wondered what it refers to. We're talking about winter. It's finally here. It has arrived, or it's coming, meaning it is nearing. It is soon winter. That's right. Garrett says winter. Yep. Something I dread every year and try to be prepared for is what she says. Now, dread means to fear greatly. If you're especially extremely afraid of something, if you have an extreme fear for something, you could say, I dread something. So she's saying that winter is something that she dreads, she fears. In other words, she really, really hates or does not look forward to. So it's something that I dread every year and try to be prepared for. So she tries to be prepared for, meaning ready for the cold winter season. I try to embrace it, meaning to accept willingly. Just saying, okay, accept it willingly. Okay, you can embrace something. Hold something in your arms, okay? Basically, she's saying she does not like winter, but she tries to accept it willingly. Okay, come on, winter. Come, come, come. Okay? Is there anything special that you do to try and make it brighter? Okay, brighter, here we're not talking about a brighter color. So if you were to, I guess, compare colors such as a dark color, black, to a bright color, yellow, for example. Now, yellow is a brighter color. It is a lighter color compared to a dark color, which happens to be black. But here she's talking about making winter brighter, meaning much more acceptable, easy to accept, okay? So she says, or maybe you like winter, because I personally hate it. So Kelly hates winter, but she's saying, is there anything you do to try to make it brighter, more pleasing? Or do you like winter? Here we go. Garrett says, I like winter. Okay, so he is a winter person. He likes winter. But I do prepare, okay? I do get ready for winter. The winters in Seoul are bone-chillingly cold. Okay, bone-chillingly cold. So he's saying that winters in Korea are very, very cold. If you say bone-chillingly or bone-chilling, imagine if the weather is really cold, sometimes it feels as if the cold temperatures freezes the layer of your skin. Sometimes it's so cold that you could feel your bones, okay, freezing. So when you want to say that something is extremely cold, such as the weather, you can say, oh, it's bone-chillingly cold. We're talking about extreme cold. Or especially, you can use bone-chilling to express something that you extremely fear, okay, something that you dread. Something really scary can be bone-chilling as well. It can give you the chills all over your body. So, bone-chilling can mean very cold or very scary, very frightening. But here he's saying it's bone-chillingly cold. It's extremely cold. They really are killer cold. This is another way. Killer, slang, just another way to say really, extremely cold. I think the name of the game, this is a pattern for today. I think the name of the game is to get a lot of layers on you, wear a lot of clothes, eat good food, and warm drinks. Okay, so we're talking about things you should keep in mind when winter comes. Now, when you say the name of the game, you are talking about the most important part of something. The things you need to fulfill in a certain situation, but simply put, think of the most important part, the essential part of something. So he's saying, I think the most important part of it is, the name of the game is to get a lot of layers on you. This is like a covering, okay? I was talking about wearing many layers, right? So we're talking about coats of something, coverings of something. So many thin layers, many clothing, okay? So you're saying wear many, many layers of clothing, wear a lot of clothes, in other words, eat good food, and drink warm drinks. I try to pump myself full of good fruits and vegetables, and then vitamins. So he's saying that he tries to pump himself of good fruits, vegetables, vitamins. So what does pump mean? Okay, you could pump, for example, liquids. You can pump water, okay, which means to bring up a lot of water. So pump means to increase. It can also mean to heighten. It can mean to strengthen something, make it stronger, sturdier. Okay, so pump something. But it can also mean to emphasize something, to stress or to emphasize. But in this case, he says, I try to pump myself full of these things, meaning he tries to eat lots of good fruits, many good fruits and vegetables and vitamins. Fill himself with all these good things. He says vitamin C, multivitamins or multi, you can pronounce it two ways, even vitamin D to replace the sunlight. Okay, if you don't get the chance to go outside, outdoors, you should take vitamin D. So he gives examples of what kinds of vitamins he takes. He says, that's what I do. What about yourself? Here we go. Kelly says, you raise a good point. Raise a point means to express something, a good point. Basically, she's saying, that's a good point. You've mentioned something really, really good. You've mentioned something for me to keep in mind. You raise a good point. That's a good idea, okay? About shopping. Now, she moves on to saying, I actually have started my winter shopping. Okay, let's see what she's done. I'm big on thermal wear. You can be big on something, meaning that you consider it to be important or you like something. Okay, so if you're big on something, you either mean that you like it very much or you believe in something to be very important. I'm big on thermal wear. That's our vocab for today. Thermal, T-H-E-R-M-A-L. Thermal means to be related to or causing heat. So if you hear the word thermal, think of heat, warmth, okay? That snuggly, cozy feeling. So thermal. Thermal wear, she's talking about clothing that keeps you warm. I hate being cold. I like going to Uniqlo. They always have high quality and affordable thermal wear. Affordable meaning the price is not very bad. It's not too expensive. So decent price, thermal wear. But I do a lot of the same things. The same things, she's referring to the things that Gareth tends to do when he plans for the winter season. Here we go. She says, are you a believer in the flu vaccine? Are you a believer in something? Meaning, do you believe in something? Now, you could believe a story, okay? You can believe in a religion, for example. So when you believe in something, you're saying that you consider it to be true, okay? You consider it to be important. So perhaps she's saying, are you a believer in the flu vaccine? Meaning, do you believe that it's a good thing to get your flu shots, get vaccinated against the flu? He says, I'm a believer in it. I haven't done it though. And he says, what about you? So he throws the question back at Kelly. She says, I'm kind of torn on it. I'm torn on it. What could that mean? Okay, you could tear something, T-E-A-R. You could tear paper, okay? For example, I can't rip or tear this right now, but you can tear a piece of paper, okay? Which means to cut into or rip into small pieces. Something can tear your heart, which means to break your heart, give you pain. But here, she's saying that she is kind of torn on it. Torn on flu vaccines, which means that she is undecided. Especially when you say that you are torn between two things, you are saying that you're having difficulty. It's very difficult for you to choose between the two things. When you have a hard time choosing between two things, you can say, I'm torn on something, okay? So she's not sure whether it's good or bad. Some people say it's effective. Other people say it's not. But I try to wrap myself in comfort foods. Okay, so she tries to wrap herself in comfort foods, which means to just fill herself, have lots of, eat many, many different kinds of comfort foods. She also tries to have many warm candles on around her, and she tries to go to bed early. If you wrap yourself in something, you're basically saying that you have a lot of it around you. You do a lot of it. You surround yourself with something. So she surrounds herself with many different kinds of comfort foods, warm candles, and she goes to bed early. Okay, anyhow, now Garrett says more drinking alcohol. Okay, it's kind of a joke, but she says no. And he says, oh, that's an Irish cure. Irish cure. So cure, is usually something that cures an illness, makes something better. So maybe he's saying in Ireland, when people catch a cold or catch the flu, they tend to drink alcohol and it cures them. It makes them feel better. And she says, I do think that more sleep is naturally a good idea when the season's changing. I think so too. When the season's changing, a lot of people tend to catch the cold or the flu. So it's very important to be prepared and take good care of yourselves. Okay, and then moving on. Definitely Gareth agrees. Here we go. Well, as long as you're prepared, as long as you are prepared, ready for the cold season, then all good, meaning no worries. Exactly, bring it on. Come on, winter. Come on our way. I am ready for you, is what Gareth says. Okay, let's take a listen to the conversation one more time.
Well, it's finally here or coming.
Winter.
Winter.
Yes.
Something I dread every year and try to be prepared for, but never really feel like I'm prepared for it. But try to embrace it.
Yes, you have to really, don't you?
Yeah. No choice there. Is there anything special that you do to try and make it brighter? Or maybe you like winter. I personally hate it.
I like winter, but I do prepare. I mean, the winters in Seoul are bone-chillingly cold. I mean, really are killer cold. But I think the name of the game is to really just get a lot of layers on you. Wear a lot of clothes, different layers. You know,
Shopping.
eat good food, chiges, stews, warm drinks. I try to pump myself full of, good fruit and vegetables, and then vitamins. Vitamin C, multivitamins, even vitamin D to replace the sunlight.
I love the way you say that, vitamins. We say vitamins.
Oh, do you? Yes.
In Canada,
well, there's the difference, right?
Sounds
yeah.
cute.
Yeah, so that's what I do, yeah. What about yourself?
You raised a good point about shopping. I actually have started my winter shopping. So thermal wear is, I'm big on thermal wear.
Yes.
I hate being cold.
Do you? Yeah.
I like going to Uniqlo. They always have high quality and affordable thermal wear. But I do a lot of the same things. Are you a believer in the flu vaccine?
I'm a believer in it. I haven't done it though. What about you?
I'm kind of torn on it. Some people say it's effective, other people say it's not. But I try to wrap myself in comfort, like stews, comfort foods, warmth, candles, go to bed early,
More
wake
drinking
up early.
alcohol?
No.
That's an Irish cure.
I do think that more sleep is naturally a good idea when the season's changing.
Definitely.
Well, as long as you're prepared, then all good.
Exactly. Yeah, bring it on.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for actual expressions. We've got some vocab words first, and then let's move on to our patterns to practice them with some sample sentences. Here we go. The first word I've brought from our actual talk conversation is dread. It's simple to pronounce. Dread, which means to fear something. Okay, fear. Cringe is another one. This is informal. It's, informally used. Apprehend is another synonym. Embrace. Embrace. Think of hugging something or holding something. It means to accept willingly, to deal with, or to adopt. Okay? Layer. We were talking about many layers, wearing layers of clothing. So it's basically coating. It can be a sheet or sheets of something, layers of something, or even covering. Pump. Pump means to force, inject. But we were talking about increasing something, heightening something, strengthening something, okay? Emphasizing the importance of something even. Stressing, emphasizing. Thermal is what? Think of warm, okay? Thermal, heat, warm. So it's heat, warm, snug is another word for cozy, warm and snug. And torn. Here we go, our last vocab word. Torn, torn. It means undecided, divided, wavering. Especially when you're having a difficult time making a decision between two things, you can say, I'm torn between the two, or I'm torn on it. Okay, let's move on to our pattern, bone chilling. If something is bone chilling, you are saying that it is extremely cold, extremely frightening, extremely scary, or extremely upsetting. Something that makes you very, very upset or mad. Here we go. That movie was bone chilling. I'm going to have nightmares. Okay. When you often watch a scary movie or a horror movie, we often go back home and dread sleeping because we're afraid we're going to have nightmares or scary dreams. So you can say that movie was bone chilling, or that movie was bone chillingly scary is another way of putting it. Here we go. Our next pattern is name of the game. Okay, we're talking about the essential part of something, especially something such as a goal, the most important part of a goal. Name of the game, patience. Is the name of the game when learning any musical instrument. That's right. So patience is extremely important. It's a very, very important point or a part of learning musical instruments. It is the name of the game. And then finally, moving on to our final pattern, raise a point. Now this means to bring attention to something that is very, very important. To raise a point. You can raise a good point. So a sample sentence is, Penny raised a point about the flaws, the mistakes, the flaws she noticed in the presentation or presentation. There are two ways to pronounce this word. So to raise a point means to bring attention to something that is very, very important. So we're saying Penny brought attention to the flaws she noticed in the presentation. Okay? Practice them more on your own. Job well done.
Before you know it, winter will be here along with all the cold weather and all of the sickness. So I know it's nothing to look forward to, but I have some good solutions to prepare you for when winter comes. The best solution, in my opinion, is to just hibernate like bears, just stay in your house and never leave, or to go south like the birds, go to Australia or Mexico, somewhere where it's really warm. But that might not be the most practical solution. Not everyone can afford that. I know I can't. But some practical solutions is make sure you get your flu shot. Even though winter hasn't come yet, get your flu shot now to protect yourself. Also, take care of yourself, good hygiene, sleep well, eat well, and don't forget you have to exercise. So, although winter's not the most exciting time of the year, it can be really fun if you take care of yourself, you have a positive attitude, and you just try to have fun.
Yes, it is time for Actual Story, everyone, our final segment. And today we had Whitney helping us out. She's from America. Of course, depending on where in the States you're from, you can talk about different weather, right? Because in certain parts, it's a lot colder. In certain parts, it's not cold at all. In certain parts, it's really, really hot. But obviously, Whitney, it doesn't sound like she's a huge fan of winter. She doesn't like winter very much. But let's take a look at what she's mentioned. Winter will be here. Winter will be here. Winter will come along with all of the cold weather and all of the sickness. Along with, basically meaning winter will bring cold weather and all of the sickness. Many, many sicknesses, such as colds and the flu. I have some good solutions to prepare you for when winter comes. She's talking about some great tips or solutions to keep in mind. Get your flu shot now to protect yourself. So we often get vaccinations, okay? We get a shot. You can get flu shots, okay? Get vaccinations. get vaccinations, get shots. So she's saying get your flu shot now to protect yourself. And then, although winter is not the most exciting time of the year, it is not, okay? The most exciting time of the year, it can be really fun if you take care of yourself. That is true. So the whole point is to take care of yourself. This happens to be the most important thing when it comes to, well, the winter season. Protecting yourself from, the flu or the cold, and really taking good care of your body and your health. Okay, that is a wrap for today's actual story. Let's take a listen to it one more time.
Before you know it, winter will be here along with all of the cold weather and all of the sickness. So I know it's nothing to look forward to, but I have some good solutions to prepare you for when winter comes. The best solution, in my opinion, is to just hibernate like bears, just stay in your house and never leave, or to go south like the birds, go to Australia or Mexico, somewhere where it's really warm. But that might not be the most practical solution. Not everyone can afford that. I know I can't. But some practical solutions is make sure you get your flu shot. Even though winter hasn't come yet, get your flu shot now to protect yourself. Also, take care of yourself, good hygiene, sleep well, eat well, and don't forget you have to exercise. So, although winter's not the most exciting time of the year, it can be really fun if you take care of yourself, you have a positive attitude, and you just try to have fun.
There are tons of things to do when the season changes, especially we're talking about drastic weather changes. Preparing for the summer season after long winter and spring seasons are over, or preparing for the winter season after, of course, the summer and fall season. You need to bring out all your winter clothes and put away all your summer clothes, for example. Now, these are things you should do, but not necessarily to protect yourself, not to take care of yourself. I thought of one more thing, especially for drivers. If you own a car or if you happen to drive a lot, preparing for winter is very important. I would say one of the things you could do is check your tires, okay? Be prepared for snowy weather and icy roads in the winter. That is very important. That's protecting yourself as well, right? Okay, so talk about these things with your partner or as a group. It'll be a fun conversation. Next time I'll join you back with Winter 2, and let's talk about winter traditions. What kinds of winter traditions are there in Korea or your home country? Think about that before I join you again next time. So until then, take good care of yourselves, and if you have any thoughts you want to share, feel more than free to come to our homepage. Come on over to www.ebse.co.kr and check out our message board. If not, you can check out our scripts that are uploaded on our homepage as well, so check them out to help you understand much more easily. Okay, that is a wrap for today's lesson, everyone. I'm going to have to say goodbye. Until I see you again next time, take good care and bye for now.